Brought to you by our friends at NuMark Credit Union. Today we're going to be talking about a holiday that is coming up in just a couple of days. You're like, Halloween, that's way off in the future. No. It's less than 2 weeks away. Just want to let you know that. We'll have our guests on in just a couple of moments. I do want to let you know that credit unions help change lives every day. October is International Credit Union Month. There are over 260 million members in 117 countries that celebrate credit unions. I am a proud member of NuMark Credit Union, so I know what I'm talking about. I can brag a little bit. NuMark is celebrating their member appreciation event on October 21st. Learn more about credit unions and how they can benefit you on NuMark's website at NuMarkCU.org. That's NuMarkCU.org. NuMark Credit Union, where you are family. Also, a little housekeeping here. We'll let you know we're going to be giving away compliments of NuMark Credit Union, a $25 Visa gift card. We're going to be doing that at the end of the show. Listen closely, and as we talk with our guests here today, they'll say something that will be the answer to a question that I'll ask at the end. And if you're the first correct caller on the Turk Furniture studio line at 815-254-7300, you will win that $25 Visa gift card, compliments of NuMark Credit Union. Leah Smith is a marketing specialist for NuMark Credit Union. Hi, Leah. How are you today?
Hey, I'm good, Scott. How are you?
I am fine and dandy. Thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. So what's new at NuMark? What's going on?
Oh, just a lot of great stuff. We just finished a great auto loan sale, and right now we're just gearing up for the holidays. So if you're looking for any financing or if you want to set aside some money to save for the holidays for next year, just give us a call and we're able to help you out. But we're just doing really good things here. We've just merged earlier this year, so now we're about 150 strong. Wow. And we're learning our new coworkers, and it's just been a blast for me just getting to learn new people and getting everything together on our side. I've enjoyed it so much.
Awesome. Very, very cool. And it's been crazy. It's been difficult. You guys had the store, not the store, but you had the bank office anyway closed. People couldn't come in because of COVID. Now you're back open, and that's nice to see your members come back in.
Oh, yes, definitely, for sure. We missed everybody, so we're so glad to see everyone's faces. Yep. You just don't know.
No doubt about that. Okay, so here we are. And was I wrong in saying it's hard to believe, but Halloween is almost here?
Oh, no, you were not. It snuck up on me, too.
It did. It is here. So the theme of the show today, Halloween safety tips. Now, this just isn't, Crest Hill related because that's where NuMark is, and that's where the police chief, Ed Clark, is, of course, the police chief of. But this is good information for people all over the area. Halloween this year is on a Sunday, so I think, Leah, it's probably going to be bigger and better than ever on a Sunday night. No worry about school or work.
Exactly, and hopefully it doesn't snow this year so kids can really have some fun out there.
That's right. It has snowed in the past, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a couple of years ago, it was like super windy out. It was brutal. So let's cross our fingers for night's one. Well, let's see if he knows anything about the weather. Chief Ed Clark, the police chief of Crest Hill. Chief, have you talked to any meteorologists or anything about the weather for Halloween? What's it looking like?
Nothing really close right now. As it gets a little closer, we'll look and see what the weather's going to be. But hopefully it continues to stay the way it is with the nice cool temperatures and still have some sun for the kids out there on Sunday.
Yeah, that would be nice. No doubt about that. All right, Chief, hey, before we get into our safety tips here today, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been the police chief, and how long have you been with Crest Hill, and have you been anywhere else? Is this where you started your law enforcement career?
Actually, no. I started as a correctional officer at Will County with the Sheriff's Office back in 1996, a few years ago. And from there, I went to Barrington Hills, which is a very nice community in the northwest suburbs. And I worked there a little under 3 years. And then in 1999, I came on board here in Crest Hill, and I've been here ever since. I've been the police chief since 2016.
What has changed the most about Crest Hill since you arrived?
Our population rose in the early 2000s. And I would say, there's been some increases in traffic. That's been a big difference since I started. And I mean, just the way we do business has changed. We've gone from, regular handwritten police reports to now everything's digitized, and traffic citations are digitized. Police traffic reports everything's online. So that's been a huge change and difference since I started.
Pretty remarkable. No doubt about it. You're right. It's hard to recognize the town from what it used to be like. All right. So, Chief, let's get into Halloween. COVID has changed the way we do things. Halloween is quickly approaching. And I think we've heard from the powers that be in D.C., it is okay to go back out and trick or treat this year. Not that, people are going to pay a ton of attention. They're going to do what they want to do. And unfortunately, people are kind of, taking matters into their own hands. But that's another story for another day. So we are okay to go out this year, we've been told. Yes.
Yeah. Everybody's okay to go out and trick or treat. Obviously, it would be smart to bring along some hand sanitizer for the kids. Keep a good social distancing and just be smart as you're walking. A lot of families, I noticed as of last year as well, they were handing out stuff outside. They were putting things outside and watching it so kids could grab stuff and not have to have any contact. So those are some things we can do just to kind of make sure everybody's safe.
Yeah, absolutely. So to protect our children when they're out, there's a lot of different things. So can you kind of give me a handful of things that you have noticed over the years that people maybe aren't doing or maybe they are doing?
Well, when I'm out driving around, I can see the kids. The thing I don't like to see is children darting out in between vehicles, crossing the street. They need to cross at the crosswalks. The biggest issue, obviously, with traffic, according to the National Safety Council, children are more than twice likely to be hit by a car on Halloween.
Wow.
So we need to keep that in mind and make sure that we're crossing at the crosswalks, we're using the sidewalks. Children under 12, I'd recommend for parents to be along with them. If you have responsible kids, they can let them go and make sure they check in. And they have a route that's already pre-planned, so they know exactly where they're going and you know where they're going. Those are some good tips. Make sure your costumes are not dark. Make sure they fit properly so they aren't tripping. I would avoid masks while they're out running around. It's an exciting time, so kids are kids. They're going to do what they do, being excited with the holidays. I remember being a kid myself, and Halloween was always a fun time. It's a little different than when I was a kid. Obviously the lights kicked on, that was time to come home, but it's a little different story.
Yeah, just a little bit. Leah, what kind of tips can you give to parents to make sure their kids stay safe?
Well, I would
hold on. Yeah, Leah, go ahead and jump in on that one if you would. That's all right.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, it's fine. I mean, hey, look, we both have we want to tell you guys everything. But just to piggyback on what the chief said, just make sure, again, people crossing at the crosswalk, and make sure that you have bright colors or some type of reflective tape like on the costumes when you're buying them, or even just over the costumes, just to make sure that the children are being able, they can be seen crossing the street. Wear a mask, again, like the chief said. But what I want to do is I want to encourage you not to double mask your kid. So,
okay.
We have to wear a mask. Don't put a mask over it, then put like another Halloween mask over them. They're not going to be able to breathe. It's not going to be a good day for them. So if you can, incorporate that cloth mask into the costume itself. In addition, with small kids, go with them all the way up to the door. Halloween is meant to be scary, and it probably does scare. Well, I can't even say that. It would scare me back in my day. Things would scare these kids nowadays. Nothing scares them. But for those babies, for those small kids, just go ahead and go up to the door with them to make sure they're comfortable. And then the last thing I would say is to make sure that you're avoiding direct contact with other trick-or-treaters. You want to stay socially distanced. So just make sure you're being safe in those areas. And parents, your kid is good to go.
Yeah, there you go. All right. What about giving out candy that night? Don't tell me, though, Chief, that I have to give all the big giant bars to kids, because I'll go broke. I get a ton of people in my neighborhood. I mean, a ton. So can I just give away fun size, please?
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad I got permission
Absolutely.
from the Chief. All right.
Yeah, when giving out candy, I think prepackaged candy is the route to go. I wouldn't make anything at home, just because you don't know if they have any food allergies or things of that sort. And parents too, make sure you inspect that candy before they eat it. Make sure you take a look at all the candy and then they can eat it after that.
I like that. Okay, Chief, let's talk about maybe some low-risk Halloween activities that can be done in place of door-to-door. If parents are like, you know what, let's start a new tradition. Anything else you can think of?
Well, I know that they can do things like could have maybe just one family overhead do something outside in the backyard where everybody's kind of away from each other in a smaller group. They could watch a movie. You could do something like that for family time at home. Things of that sort. I see a lot of the trunk or treat kind of things where it's limiting the amount of contact. If you had a group of people that wanted to do that instead, and that way you can kind of avoid contact. So I think you just want to maintain that social distance, I guess, and make sure that you're safe.
Yeah, that makes good sense. Makes really, really good sense. Okay, collecting candy. This is the old standard question because I remember the warnings from my parents about, hey, before we eat that candy, we got to look at everything. Collecting candy, that's a big part, let's face it. That's why kids go out in the first place. What should we do before we start eating those sweet treats?
Well, I would say just look at the packaging. Make sure the packaging isn't opened. Kind of review each one. Don't obviously avoid the homemade things. I would avoid any of that kind of stuff. People are, they may be well intended, but and you don't know exactly what the ingredients are. But just make sure that all those items are inspected. Make sure there's no, holes or gaps, and the candy is intact and it looks like it should coming out of the factory.
Okay, Leah, now the important thing other than candy, because that's the most important thing. Let's talk about Halloween costumes. There could be some supply chain issues with your Halloween stores. I don't know if I haven't been out to look or anything like that. Have you been out? Or is there a shortage of some of the popular costumes, Leah?
So I haven't heard of a shortage, but
Good.
I did hear a story from a coworker that she ordered a costume for her granddaughter, and it was sent from China, and it's still on the ship.
Oh boy!
I guess there's a shortage of truck drivers out there, and they don't have anyone to deliver these costumes. So her costume will arrive after Halloween, so she's looking for some last minute costume ideas for her granddaughter.
All right, well, let's give us some. What do you got?
Cool. So first, last minute DIY is your best friend. Do it yourself. It may not look the best, but you did it. So some ideas that you could do. Number one, dynamite stick. You cannot go wrong with the dynamite stick. It is super simple. Red T-shirt. You get yourself some tape, TNT letters on there. Boom. Guess who's the dynamite stick?
I like that. I like that.
I have a couple more for you if you like that one.
All right.
So we all know typical ghost. Boo. You get a blanket, you cut the eyes out, and now you're a ghost. Simple, short, sweet. We have another one. We're Waldo. You know how to be Waldo, right? You just go ahead and get yourself a red striped shirt, some jeans, and a red hat, and you go hot.
Oh yeah.
And you have people pick you out in a picture. And then a couple, just one for maybe small kids. Skeleton costume. You can DIY that as well. All you need is a black top, black bottoms, and some tape, and you can outline your bones on the clothing there. For women, pineapple. You can get a yellow dress, and you can construct the flower or the leaf of the pineapple on your head with like green construction paper, toilet paper roll that you color green and stick it down in there, and boom, you're a pineapple. And then, sometimes we have to go simple and sweet. And this one comes with a story. For those of you guys who watch The Office out there, there is a character, and his main thing is Halloween is simplistic. He's a salesman, and he goes Halloween as a salesman. So one thing that he did on the show is he wrote the word book across his face. And guess what he was, Scott?
What?
Facebook. I'm like, that is simple and hilarious.
That's brilliant.
Sometimes you may not have enough time, but you can figure something out. So for those of you out there who need a last-minute party costume, remember, you could be a dynamite stick, you could be a classic ghost, you can be Where's Waldo, you could be a skeleton, pineapple, or you can write the word book across your face and become Facebook.
Leah,
those are some ideas.
Which character on The Office did that?
Jim.
Did he really? I didn't know that. I didn't see that episode.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Every year in the show, he just tried not to do something for Halloween. It's funny.
That's
I
good.
love the show.
That is good. Chief, are we going to be dressing up? You going into adult parties or anything and have a little fun, or are you going to chill out?
Probably just chill out. I don't have anything really planned, but I always like sitting out and just watching the kids and driving around and seeing the kids run around and different costumes that people come up with is really kind of a fun thing.
Yeah, I do too. I like just chilling, and I like handing out candy. I didn't get to do that last year. I was out of town, and I changed my plans this year so I can make sure I'm home and handing out the candy to the little kids because, like Leah mentioned her, I like scaring them when they come up to the door. I usually put on some kind of mask. I'm not mean to them, Leah. I don't say anything. I just hand them the candy. I put on an old man mask. Not my regular face, but like a really, 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 really old man mask. And to watch them kind of tiptoe up wanting that candy, but not sure if they should come or not, it's priceless. Sorry, it's just how I am. It's how I am. All right. Chief, bottom line, what should we take away from today's show about staying safe?
Well, I just think it's about the kids. I think that people in the neighborhoods, obviously parents look out for your kids, but also people in the neighborhoods be on the lookout for kids too and help out. If you see kids crossing the street, maybe alert a parent and let them know they need to go on the crosswalks. And then just it's all about safety. Make sure, the kids are safe. The big thing to take away is all about the kids and having a good time. But have a pre-planned route. Make sure you know that where they're going to be, and if you're too young, go with them, of course, and just making sure that they're being careful out there because, like I said, it's kind of a tough time. Kids are excited, they run around, and motorists have to make sure too that they're watching for the kids as well. So
absolutely. All right, Chief. What are the trick or treat hours in Crest Hill proper?
3 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Oh wow, you got to start a little early. Okay.
Yeah, we'll have extra patrol out there. Going to be the orders to be high visibility and making sure that we're doing exactly that, watching the kids, making sure they're safe, not crossing the streets where they're not supposed to, and just patrolling the streets and making sure everything goes smoothly. Well
done. Leah Avery from NuMark Credit Union and the police chief of Crest Hill, Ed Clark. Guys, thanks very much for having some fun with us this morning and talking about a fun holiday, which is coming up in just a few days. Thanks, guys.
Of course.